Hello everyone and welcome to Dice Commando. So I am about to take apart a deck that I've enjoyed playing for the last couple of weeks. I've had a lot of fun with it. Before I do so, really I just wanted to kind of film what's in it, do a deck tech about it. So this is really more for me than anything else. I do know that we don't have a huge Argent Saga community that watches this, but just recording it for me and figured maybe somebody else can find it useful. So this is my Raine Sola deck as it exists today. So Raine, of course, is exhaust, expel up to 2 units from your hand, deal damage to target unit equal to the number of cards expelled times 500. That, of course, can be 0. And, of course, I'm playing Sola, definitely my favorite spirit in the game, at least right now. So that will define our deck. So again, Sola has an affinity of 8. So let's go ahead and start with the Sola cards, or I should say the light cards, because that really is a large part of why I'm bringing her. I'm also shooting this on the Yuki mat because I love Yuki. I love what she brings. She's really, really, really strong. Like, there's no secret there. But I like her, so I'm playing 3 of Yuki. I'm playing 2 Omega Hikari. That will drop those Guardians just to kind of take a hit. I'm playing 2 Kara Valkyries. She's really good late. I do have to admit, I haven't been having massive success with her. Kind of the other version of her really is Brant, but he's from the OG set. Brant I have been having a lot of success with. Kara, for some reason, I just haven't been able to get her to quite to work. But Brant here with a nice legendary foiling there. When he becomes unable to be targeted by spells, especially late game when he hits, turn 5, turn 6, he can do some pretty good stuff. I do want to honorable mention while I'm here the Black Rose Knight. So I was playing, because I just very recently, thank you Derek, came into a Hikari, or my second Hikari that I wanted. I was actually playing a Rose Knight in its place, just for the brawler to help kind of take out those units that I need to do. He did okay. I think I'm going to be happier with the Hikari, so that's the final version that I'm really kind of just shipping. So those are the light cards. And actually, let's, just for look's sake, let's put Yuki on top there. All right, so next let's run into kind of the red units that, not just red units, but the red cards that really drove me to do this. So I have 3 GZs. The first one is a foily from, of course, the early tournaments. The next 2 I've been able to obtain. GZ is really strong, not just because of his ability. It's not as much of his ability being able to blow up something and throw out a Yuki. That of itself is good, no argument there. But really you get into that magic range with the 2 1500s, or the 2 cost 1500. That's really where Ruka comes in as well. I really like Ruka's ability. It doesn't matter to me as much that I don't have a fire spirit. Obviously that would be way better, but it's not necessary. I am then playing 3 Imbued by Fire. That's just a 1 cost that gives a fire unit plus 2000, which is not bad for 1 cost. And then these 2 slots I want to talk about real quick. So I'm playing 2 Exploding Dragons. They're also 2 for 1500. So earlier versions of this deck were playing the Reckless Shard Beast. That's why I call this deck the Suicide Squad, and the idea was that between GZ and the Shard Beast, I was actually blowing up my own towers to try to throw Yuki in play, to try to get me to an early Kara. But what I found was there were a lot of problems with the Reckless Shard Beast because he's only 2 1000. So what I ended up going with in a later version was actually the Exploding Dragon, just because he's 2 1500, right? There are 3 towers out there, of the standard towers, there are 3 of them out there that are 1500. Feels real bad when you toast one of your own towers, don't get a huge benefit of it, and then you run across the table and run into a 1500 or something with the Shard Beast and don't pop. So the 1500 really to skew to these guys. These guys, of course, have the Ruin ability that when they blow up, they can deal 1000 across the table, which is not bad. So that is actually what I ended up on, was the 2 Exploding Dragons. I know that, it's not a dragon deck, but I think they fit in a little better than what I was trying to do with the Shard Beast. Right, I am also running a kind of a modified Blazewalker package, so I'm running 3 Entreats. I'm running the 3 Entreats, of course, to pull Arc. right? So the idea here is you expel an arc, you pull one to your hand, and then you can do the Raine thing with it. You can really deal a lot of damage and clear the board early, which can kind of clear a path, or you can even use it defensively. Usually if you're gonna win, you'll be using it to clear a path. I am playing 3 of Leia. It's very rare I actually get Leia's ability off in terms of the card draw, but she can help recycle arc back in to set up the entreat, so it is worth it. I'm also playing 2 Blaze Striker Dive. This card is actually really good, right? So pulling, because again, you're getting arc pretty easy. Then you can pull him back and deal 1500 positional, so it's non-targetable, which is pretty good in certain cases, especially like Repro Broom or whatever. However, I'm only running 2 of them because if you get it early and for some reason you can't get the support package, it's really just a dead card. So I ended up throttling back to just 2 in that case. But the entreat into arc combo is something that I'm really a huge fan of. All right, going into the Argent cards, I don't think it's a secret to anybody that we're playing 3 Scavengers. 3 Bone Scavengers just to munch, again, a 1/1000, so that doesn't meet my criteria of being a 2/1500 or having 1500 at least, but he can munch and get there, and of course he serves the Urgon purpose. I'm also playing, just because, why wouldn't you with Raine? I'm playing 3 Repro Brooms. He is not the focus of the deck, kind of like other decks, but again, he's one of those guys like a 2/1000, again, doesn't meet my criteria, but he can just start popping off and doing nasty things, and very least when he hits the table, he becomes an opponent focus, as he well should be, so he can kind of cause some havoc there. This guy, I like this guy a lot. So Mutation 000, Zalak, I just call him Ziggy because it's easier. So when he hits the table, he's a 0-drop for 500. You can use him to poke, but the 0-drop's the huge thing, again, poking. But again, if you can get Repro on with a token, this guy actually becomes 1500, and then he hits that criteria of being a 1500. And then last, I'm playing 1 Twilight Knight because the guy's #amazeballs. So hopefully I don't need to explain him. The cost curve of 6 on him is actually a little high, but if I need him, I need him, right? So as far as towers go, I'm nothing sexy there. I'm just playing the 5 OG towers. That's it. And then lastly, for the shards, again, there's nothing super special going on here. So I am, of course, playing Corona Shard. There were some earlier versions where I've actually played around with using Fizzy Shard just for the card draw. However, I think that would actually work better, especially like with a Ruka. The Fizzy Shard works better with Ruka and a Fire Spirit, so you can keep resetting. Obviously, you have the visitors, and you can start having a different conversation, but I do not own visitors, so that's why they're not here. And other than that, I just have normal shards with the exception of I have 1 Hallowed Crystal. There's really no reason not to run multiples of them other than the fact that I just don't have them, but that problem should be solved pretty soon with all of those full arts that we see coming out of the LGS packs. So anyway, that is just my deck. Again, I'm not saying this is a tier 1 deck, but I just wanted to share the deck profile of what I have. It's a really fun aggro deck. You're pretty much done by, I don't know, round 5 or 6. In either direction. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I'm going to be taking it apart, trying something else. So I really just wanted to document it and figured I would share that experience. So again, if you are a fan of Argent Saga or a fan of Dice Commando, please make sure that you like and subscribe. And if nothing else, go Commando.